Coach, an important lesson for this team about generating offense, particularly down the stretch. What did you see on some of those shots late? I think you guys were 1 of 7 in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, we had some good looks, and that sometimes, I think us being able to execute during that stretch is something we need to get better at. I can't go through all 7 shots. I know there were a few that were really good shots, and we had to work for them. That said, I think we know whenever that is, it could be on the margins. There's certain things we need to do better, but I think for us to put ourselves in that situation, given we didn't really make shots during the course of the game either, so. But I'm proud of the team and the way I think the storyline for me is just how we competed, and that's our consistency in that area is the most important thing, because I think that's what we have to do to continue to try to build an identity. And this was an opportunity to, this whole tournament, to play in some situations and some games against really good teams, and try to do that. And you find out about yourself. You find out when you're in a game like this, you're able to look back and say, we need to do this better. And we did this pretty well.
Let's go to front row in the center.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you, are they, with DeAndre, did you notice them doing anything differently, or was it kind of making it difficult for him on the offensive end? Did you notice the Bucks was he just kind of off from his shooting?
There was a number of times that I thought they were physical with him, and he can handle that and doesn't shy away from that. I think in some of his shots, that's a slightly different situation, and we'll play through that. But I don't. There's games where you don't make shots that other games you make, and he's been terrific. So the thing about Dre is that even if, and this was true of our team, but especially of him, even if maybe the ball's not going in the way it has been, that he's able to impact the game different ways, and he did that.
You mentioned not making shots. Your defense keeping you in the game essentially with that. It's been kind of a theme the last couple of weeks as you've won more games. What did you see from your defense on the whole?
I thought we competed throughout the entire possession. There was a couple situations that we struggled to guard. Obviously, anytime you play Giannis, it's going to be hard. But that's, us creating offense off our defense. I think, when the key for us is not to have empty possessions. And, when we get in the lane and don't finish, it's hard to defend against that. And some of those, that's going to happen at times when Brook Lopez is down there. But we have to continue to work to get in there, create help situations, and play with our eyes out. I thought we can be more consistent and better in that area. Some of the shots we're going to get will be easier. We can space better. Invariably, when we turn the ball over, there's usually something you can trace it to, and those are the times when it's hard to defend.
Quinn, over the last, sorry, over here.
Oh, back to
over here.
Okay.
Sorry. It's all good. Over the last couple months, I know it's the weird acoustics.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have played Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York. You've gotten wins against all of them, and obviously didn't get this one today. But have you seen especially the young guys on this team, really advance and grow, getting these kind of big games early in the year and having some success in them? How much will that pay dividends, not just for the next few months, but down the line for you guys?
Yeah, anytime Dyson's, I think, 21, Zach's 19, JJ's 22. Those guys are all starting for us, and there's going to be ups and downs with young players. There's ups and downs with everybody, but particularly with young guys. And so for us to be in this type of environment and be in these types of games, I think is really important. And, you know, one of the other things that's happened is we mentioned DeAndre, you know, some of our more veteran guys that are still pretty young, I think have, you know, really assumed a leadership role. And, you know, you see that, you guys don't see it, you know, in the locker room and off the court, but you can really, it's visible on the court, how those guys are not only supporting each other, but trying to give each other confidence. And I think, you know, the youth, you know, helps the older, more veteran, I don't call them veteran, but veteran guys. And then I think the veteran guys and their experience in these types of situations, you know, can settle the younger guys. But, you know, I've said it before, the term I've used is, you know, a long runway. And that's, you know, our growth is not going to be just linear. You know, we're going to have those moments. And every time we have, you know, like tonight, you know, what can we take from it? And I think that's really true, you know, for Zach and Dyson and JJ, that these moments, because they're getting an opportunity at a young age to be in them, there's a lot of opportunity.
First row on the right.
You mentioned that you got the shots you wanted. Is that the biggest thing you take away from this game going forward?
You know, I'd have to go back and look. I don't think we got the shots we wanted all the time. I felt like we had some that were good shots, that even a couple we may have passed up. That were, sometimes you pass one up and you don't get a better one. But you know, that's part of it for us. You know, I liked it, the fact we've really bought into defending, and you know, and that really helps us. When we get out in transition, the game becomes much more instinctive. And I think even for the young, for everybody really. But we get in, we're still getting to know each other as a group. And I think that shows more in the half court offensively. As far as us really connecting to generate shots as a team. You know, that's really how we have to play. And I think our guys have embraced that, but that's a process too.
Any other questions for Coach?
Coach, looking forward, these games will matter in April. What do you tell your young players about getting prepared for the playoffs, taking what's happening right now with the NBA Cup, learning from these lessons? What do you want to look forward to come playoff time in April?
Yeah, you know, I think for our group, you know, I've felt strongly that we can't get too high and we can't get too low. Because I think both those situations we potentially are going to, we already have experienced that in the regular season. You know, I think we were picked 10th in the East. So when you talk about playoffs, you know, I'm trying not to like think about any, not that I don't want to make the playoffs, but I don't, you know, wherever it is, I think the challenge for us is to really stay focused on, you know, improving. And wherever that takes us, you know, we'll see. But that approach for this group, you know, to care, you know, there's no, you know, you guys saw the game. There's no question we wanted to win. But at the same time, you know, understand the things that we need to do so that winning takes place. And if we keep that approach and try to continue to improve, you know, I don't know where we end up in that regard. But if we're a better team in January than we are in December, and a better team in February, and a better team in March, you know, that's the goal.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.